Okay, gentleman from Alabama, Mr. Palmer.
Well, I'm going to get us to some reality.
All right.
We're talking about. Thank you. Well, first thing, is this thing on? Yeah, there we go. Can't see the light. Speaking of seeing the light, I think people need to see the light on where we really are on energy. There was a report came out from the Electric Power Research Institute in December that got zero media coverage other than the Wall Street Journal that says that under no scenario can we get to net zero by 2050. So let me tell you what this means in terms of impact on people. There are already 2.7 billion people, 4% of the world's population, that lack access to clean cooking facilities because they don't have access to natural gas or other means of cooking other than using coal or kerosene or wood or even animal waste. We saw a report that said there are 20 million households in the United States, 1 in 6. That's from that are behind on utility bills. That's according to the National Energy Assistance Directors Association. But there's another report that came out from the Kleinman Center for Energy Policy at the University of Pennsylvania that a lot of people are unaware of, that says that it's not 1 in 6 households, not 20 million, it's 1 in 3. 40 million households are experiencing energy poverty, having difficulty just keeping the lights on, paying the power bill. That's here in the U.S. In Europe, depending on when the studies were done, it's between 50 and 125 million Europeans are choosing between heating and eating. Now, I've been talking at a number of energy forums, I've been talking to international groups, and one of the points that I think we need to make and refute what's coming out of the Biden administration is the war in Ukraine did not create the energy crisis. It exposed it. And you need to take that to the bank. It didn't create it, it exposed it. So what we're doing by pursuing in a mad dash to renewables and denying ourselves access, particularly to natural gas, which impacts everything from heating your home to drying your clothes to heating your water to cooking your food to producing the fertilizer that you need to grow your food. And when we are literally an energy superpower. The thing Ms. Jackson and I were talking about earlier that's just unbelievably frustrating and even maddening is how the left continues to hold people in poverty by denying them access to energy. We have not only energy poverty, we have energy injustice. And that we need the people who are suffering this to take the lead on this. And I don't care what your politics are. This shouldn't be a political issue. This ought to be an issue of what's best for people. When you condemn people to living in households without access to reliable energy, it becomes not only not just a financial issue, but a health issue. You look at the number of excess winter deaths in Europe because of people not being able to afford to adequately heat their homes. According to Lancet, there's 17 times more people die from cold-related illnesses than from heat because it has such a negative impact on people, cardiovascular and respiratory and other illnesses. So, Ms. Jackson, I'm so excited by what you're doing. The whole country needs to know about what's going on in the African-American community, the Hispanic community, the poor white community. And we talk about poor people, but also we need to look at what it's doing to the middle class. We are absolutely destroying the middle class with our energy policy. So I'd like for you guys to comment on that.
Well, absolutely. You know, you've seen the push for electric vehicles for minority communities. But minority communities can't afford electric vehicles. If you think about this, I want you to think of $2,500 because that's the average cost of a new vehicle for most minority communities. And what we're doing is giving subsidies of some $7,500 and building electric charging stations. For, if I'm in a minority community and I see electric charging stations, you know what I think? That my community is getting ready to be gentrified and they're gonna push me out. Because I know that my neighbors can't afford that type of vehicle. There's more pressing things that we need. Fighting crime. We need to have better schools. We need to have higher paying jobs. And putting electric charging stations in a community where a majority of the people can't afford it. And if they're participating in a government program, they're gonna get kicked out for being able to have a vehicle that expensive because of the asset limit. So these projects and what they're doing in the name of minority communities is devastating. And it's just to push they have this agenda that doesn't work. And we need to fight against that. I can tell you right now that nobody in the minority community thinks climate change is a priority. Not one, not 10, not 3. If you go in and talk to grassroots people, climate change is not a priority. And none of them think that what's happening to them now is unintentional. They realize that the reason why their energy costs are going up is because of these climate change policies. They know that the reason why that food and clothes and everything that they buy that's essential is because of climate change policies. But nobody's talking to them. That's why I'm here. Because we need to understand that they understand. But the left has never listened to us. They never have. And I'm so happy that this committee is committed to listening to us. Because every policy that they presented in the last 60 years has done nothing but destroyed our communities. Nothing but destroyed our communities. And we really, in this country, can see change. And fighting against these climate change policies, just like the war on poverty didn't work. It was the war for poverty because that's all we've seen is it create more. And the climate change policy is going to go in that same direction if we don't stop it.
I yield back.